The big budget Western has found its way back on cinema screens and, well, hasn't been received all that well by the public, banking on his popularity, with Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone television series phenomenon that has captivated boomers for, oh my god, how many seasons at this point? Are they going into the 5th season? But Costner's not going to be a part of it anymore, okay? Because he's off to bigger and better things like ruining his marriage in order to try to finance Horizon, an American Saga, and Part 1 has been released at the tail end of June, and well, as you can see by the headline, Kevin Costner mortgaged one of his properties to finance his latest film, but Horizon just had a weak box office debut. Now, this is Part 1, by the way, and the second part, I think, is supposed to come out later this year. Like, it's a very ambitious project that he's put out there, and well, by some accounts, by people who've watched it, they don't have bad things to say about it. There's a couple of cringe things that are in it, and of course, it's Kevin Costner. You can expect at least a little bit of cringe. But overall, is it bad? Is it Postman bad? Is it Open Range bad? No. It needs to be a step up from that, okay? A Quiet Place, Day 1 is making noise at the box office. God damn it, man. You guys cannot stop yourself, can you? The prequel earned an estimated $53 million in its first weekend in North American theaters, according to studio estimates on Sunday. It's both a franchise best and significantly more than expected. Going into the weekend, pre-release tracking had Day 1 pegged for $40 million debut. But audiences were clearly more enthusiastic to go see the action horror starring a bunch of people released by Paramount. Oh good, at least a little bit of good news from for Paramount. The same which could not be said for Kevin Costner's Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, which opened to $11 million. Ooh, and I know this cost a lot of money. Quiet Place's victory wasn't quiet enough to snag the coveted first place for spots on the charts, though. The honor again went to Disney Pixar's, yes, a juggernaut Inside Out 2, which crossed $1 billion, which is crazy to think about, $57.4 million in its third weekend. I think the only time that it has a chance of getting dethroned is likely when Deadpool and Wolverine rolls around. Imagine that. You just make non-political stuff and people will come and see it. Big shock. There's a distant possibility that the places will shift when actuals are released on Monday. Spoilers, they didn't. But either way, it's good news for movie theaters in a summer season that has been finally heating up, but still down far behind last year, which was already down a lot. Yes, as you can see, down 36% from 2019. Inside Out 2 continues to be a box office phenomenon, likes of which we haven't seen since Barbie last year. There's a good chance, because it apparently does have legs, that it could end up being bigger than Barbie. Who knows? But circling back around to Horizon, okay, older audiences is what it ended up attracting, because of course it's the return of the Western. And you can take a look at, yes, the popular entries into that genre recently, especially on Paramount Plus. It's generally an older demographic to begin with. The ones most likely to support the Western epic don't typically rush out to see films on opening weekend, the way people often do for horrors and superheroes. Yes, of course, the road ahead will not be easy. Reviews have not been great, from the critic class, okay, but the people that seen it, generally good things to say about it. It's just, unfortunately, as you can see from the receipts, not many people went out and seen it. Now, the stakes are also a little bit different for Horizon, a $100 million production that Costner financed on his own and partnered with Warner Brothers to distribute. It opened in 334 locations. A decades-old passion project. He mortgaged property in Santa Barbara, California to finance it, and exited Yellowstone to see it through. And a bold, unconventional strategy. Chapter 2 arrives in theaters later this summer. Oh wow, it's actually even quicker than that, on August 16th. Whew, okay, I thought it was coming out like later in the year, like October or November, but August, that's a quick turnaround. And he also has plans for 2 more movies. Oof, the Western genre is one of those that is very specific. It's going to be about the long game. Well, yeah, of course, and going to require you to cultivate an audience, which is, I don't really know, man. Doesn't really show signs that that's going to end up being the case. At a quick glance at the top 10 shows, the audiences are largely favoring franchises and known commodities over originals, and Bad Boys Ride or Die is right behind Horizon in the charts and has been in theaters for 4 weeks already. And yeah, it's actually done reasonably well. Talking about Bad Boys, audiences in the summer want tried and true. They want familiar. They also want good, because last year there was a lot of familiar Indiana Jones, more Marvel films, and well, how did those end up performing? Oh, right, exactly. I thought we were all about, wanting to give the audience something brand new, until it's something that comes out that is brand new, and it's, no, we want tried and tested and true. Right, for sure. It's almost like, maybe you're pointing out that might be a problem with the people going to the cinema right now, okay? I'm not normally one to just deride an audience or just complain about them, but Michael Rooker, who's in Horizon, kind of points out something that should be fairly obvious to people, okay? Horizon actor Michael Rooker defends Kevin Costner's film after dismal box office debut. Get over that crap, TikTok, and learn how to watch real cinema. This is real cinema, okay? And like I said, I'm not a fan of attacking a theoretical audience. This is pointing out why Hollywood, why cinema in general. I should say the theaters, cinema will always exist depending on where you can experience it. That might end up changing in the next few years, but long-form cinematic content, medium in which to experience it, could end up changing, okay? Going to a theater, that might end up being a relic of the past that is just simply reserved for more blockbuster affair, not newer, unproven IPs like Horizon. Because I don't think the older audience that's going in and watching Horizon are going to be glued to their phones, okay? They're not going to be scrolling TikTok. They might be on Facebook, okay? They might be trying to remember their password for MySpace. More than likely, they're going in to watch a Western. Good old shooty, bang, bang, ride the horse show. Now, I love Westerns. Westerns are fantastic stuff. This film, theoretically, would be right up my alley because I've seen a fair few Kevin Costner flicks. It's just, I've also told you guys that it's been a very, very long time that I've been to the cinema, mostly because it's not my thing anymore. There's too many people on their phones. It's not an enjoyable experience. And oh yeah, the ticket prices and the cost of entry has far surpassed anything that I would be willing to spend, and especially willing to spend on an unproven commodity. Kevin Costner's Horizon franchise got off to a dismal start at the box office. The first 4 planned movies debuting at just $11 million at the box office. Michael Rooker, the Guardians of the Galaxy favorite, who starred in Western epics as a Sergeant Major Thomas Redoran, caught up with TMZ after the film's lackluster opening, and urged moviegoers to quit TikTok and give real cinema a chance. It's real cinema, folks. Be prepared. We ain't used to that crap, okay? We're used to 90-minute movies. Everything in is 90 minutes. Give me a break. Get over that crap. Let's watch a movie that actually tells a story where you learn about people and grow to like them or hate them. It's not fast and cut. I mean, here's the thing too, okay, because there's long-form storytelling that's currently going on right now in the form of House of the Dragon. Maybe, episode 4 ends up really kicking up the action, has a big bombastic set piece. But for the first 3 episodes, it's been a lot of laying the groundwork. It's been a lot of character work. It has been a lot of that political stuff that made House of the Dragon precursor, Game of Thrones, very, very popular. The most watched television show. But here's the thing, man. You might be telling this bombastic story, but this is the first part of a multi-part series. We've seen that ended up having a knock-on effect for the likes of Mission Impossible last year. Okay, something else that vastly and dramatically underperformed because it was simply billed as a part 1. Not to mention the quality of the script or the performances or anything like that. Those were a bit lackluster, but it's part 1. You got 4 parts that are already planned. There are some people that are out there and taking this to a different medium as well. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, its sales being lackluster. You can also chalk that up to it being a part 2 in a planned trilogy. Some people just want to wait for everything to be out there in order to simply engage with it. That could be an issue. It could also be that maybe your story's not all that engaging. Okay, maybe your premise is not something that resonates with a bunch of people. Maybe it is just a niche project. Okay, I'm with you that people's attention spans are total trash in general. And from what I hear, it's actually a pretty compelling story that you guys are telling. Okay, so I'd be willing to give you the benefit of the doubt. But when you go out there and say, hey, you guys need to pay attention because we're telling a really good story. Here's the thing about really good stories. You don't need to tell people that they're really good. It's self-evident. Like, you can point out the shortcomings of the rest of the modern industry, but if you're not providing an adequate replacement, you just look like a crabby old man. When asked, part of the low viewer turnout to Horizon was because moviegoers have become TikTokified. Rooker answered, totally they are. Of course they are. They got to get over that crap. They got to learn how to watch real cinema, please. Stop hanging and go see the movie. You'll enjoy it. Go to the bathroom before you go in. Okay. Costner previously revealed he spent around $38 million of his own money to finance Horizon. Warner Brothers only paid for distribution, meaning even the film's marketing expenses is on Costner's dime. Ooh. I Oh, I lived with movies and what happens to them on their opening weekend. Costner told Entertainment Weekly on the day the first film opened in theaters. If we put so much pressure on that, we're bound to be disappointed. I'm really happy that Horizon looks like what it's supposed to look like, and that's the way it'll look like for the rest of its life, and that's really important to me in this process. Okay, I could see why, with convoluted statements like this, why people aren't flocking to the cinema. I love that it would be highly, highly successful? Of course I'd like that. My ego would like that. Everyone would like that. But I'm happiest that the movie that you and I are talking about looks the way I want it to look. Warner Brothers is set to release a second Horizon film, the planned 4-movie saga, on August 16th. I'd imagine those are the only ones that are contracted right now. As for movies 3 and 4, I guess we'll have to see. Okay, so a lot of good points are brought up. Okay, attention spans of the audience, very much at the center of this, but it's also indicative about what's going on in the wider Hollywood landscape. Okay, have we got to a point where it's just simply a boutique experience to go down to the theater? It's really kind of pointing in that direction. You really have to go for the blockbuster or for the tentpole film when it comes to something more experimental, when it comes to something more niche like Horizon, something that's going to end up going the way of so many other flops in the theater in 2024, because as well as Inside Out 2 and maybe Bad Boys have done in the short term for the previous 6 months of this year, it has been bomb after bomb after bomb. So yeah, it's about time that we start to reassess the entertainment industry and maybe come to the conclusion that the theaters aren't really long for this world. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.